companies know how much we invest in New Year's celebrations, leading many to inflate their prices. Credit Rex features. Everyone knows that come Christmas and New Year's Eve, prices shoot up faster than the fireworks over the Thames. But do you know just how much companies bump up the costs and which services will cost you more? Telegraph Money has analyzed the prices of goods and services to discover how much more you will pay. Flights, but not everywhere. If you're planning a special trip to mark the end of the year, you may be willing to spend a bit more than usual. However, according to Kayak, the travel website, those who choose to spend New Year's Eve in popular European cities could expect to pay up to 188% more for a return flight compared to at other times of the year. Flights to Alicante cost around £65 at the start of December. This shoots up to £187 as the year comes to an end. The cost of flights to Malaga and Reykjavik are 159% and 157% more expensive, respectively. However, those looking to spend New Year's in Sydney or Mumbai would actually spend 21% and 18% less on flights, respectively. The chart below shows the cost of the top 10 European routes, departing between December 26 and 31 compared to earlier in the month. How much more will flights to Europe cost before New Year's Eve? The cost of longer-haul flights can actually go down around New Year's Eve, possibly because few people would travel so far for one night. Neil Cartwright from Kayak said European prices are up at this time of year because that's where British people would rather fly. He said destinations where flying is the only option is where cost increases are most significant. He said flights to New York and Dubai, which are within reasonable distance and are New Year's Eve hot spots, are likely to increase more than others. Mr. Cartwright added, places such as Toronto and Colombo, which are generally popular throughout the year, but aren't traditional places for Brits to celebrate New Year's Eve and are too far away for a short break, tend to see their prices increase less, or in some cases fall. How much more will flights cost before New Year's Eve? If you are planning a night out on New Year's Eve without the children, expect to pay almost double for a babysitter. Sitters.co.uk, the childcare directory, quoted £10 an hour for a babysitter in Manchester on New Year's Eve, up from £7.50 usually. Meanwhile in Dulwich, London, prices were £14 an hour on New Year's Eve, up from £7.65. You can check how much you'll need to pay if you decide to head out on the town here. New Year's Eve eats and drinks. Martin James, from Complaints Resolution Tool Resolver, said most restaurants serve up the same food on New Year's Eve as they do all year round, but for several times the price. It's known as the New Year's Eve package, he said. And you'll be paying premium for anywhere with a view. A babysitter could cost you almost double if you go out without the children on New Year's Eve. Credit Rory Connellan, for example, for £67.50 or £135 for two. Boyd's Grill and Wine Bar in central London offers each person half a bottle of champagne and half a sharing board on New Year's Eve. A sharing board on Boyd's menu costs £19.95. A bottle of Canard Duchesne Cuvée Brut is £60. Altogether this would set back two people £79.95. On New Year's Eve these cost almost 69% more. Hotels and places to stay expect to pay up to 87% more for a night in a hotel in popular destinations around New Year's Eve when compared to the rest of the year. The average cost of a night in a 3- or 4-star hotel in Dubai rises from £94 to £175 towards the end of the year, according to Kayak's research. The price of a double room in Zagreb in Croatia will increase by 17%, even on Airbnb, a popular alternative to traditional hotels and hostels. The prices are inflated. When Telegraph Money searched for an entire home in Edinburgh's Old Town on New Year's Eve for two people, Airbnb quoted an average cost of £473, albeit for a last-minute booking. This dropped to just £120 with the same criteria 2 weeks later, more than 75% less. In Brighton the price dropped from £167 to £127 2 weeks after New Year's Eve. And in Manchester the cost of accommodation went from £248 to £111. Household jobs. Everyone hopes their boiler doesn't pack in or they get a hole in their roof at the best of times, but towards the end of the year it will cost much more. On New Year's Eve, Pimlico Plumbers in London, as an example, charges customers almost double, at £250 an hour for heating work between the hours of 6 p.m. and 12 a.m. or £300 after midnight. This work can cost as little as £130 during normal working hours. Expect to pay above the odds on New Year's Eve if something goes wrong in your house. Credit. Getty Images. Plumbing work from Pimlico plumbers carried out between the same hours on New Year's Eve would cost £220 to £250 an hour. During the week it costs £110. New Year's Day is even more expensive. You could pay up to £350 an hour for jetting to clear drains. Transport. If you choose to travel between midnight and 3 a.m. on New Year's Eve, expect a surge in prices from Uber, the car-sharing service. The ride-sharing app uses dynamic pricing, which means the busier it is, the more you will pay. Previously, customers in America have reported spending almost 10 times more on Uber fares after midnight on New Year's Eve. Uber could not give Telegraph Money an idea of what prices to expect on New Year's Eve in the UK, but said the cost was reactive and dependent on demand in the area. If you are desperate to get home, you can always split the fare with strangers heading your way using the Uber Pool feature, which is 25% less than standard fares. Or you can wait and travel once the early birds have gone home. Addison Lee, the taxi firm, increases its minimum fare from £8.50 to £17 from 6 p.m. on December 31st until 11:59 p.m. on January 1st. After this it's £2 to £3.50 a mile. This only applies to non-account customers. Those with an account will not see any change. London's Black Caps will add an extra £4 to fares between 8 p.m. on December 31st and 6 a.m. on January 1st. A 4-mile journey between 16 and 30 minutes at 2 a.m. on New Year's Day would cost around £22 to £32, including the charge. Alternatively, London's public transport network is free between 11:45 p.m. and 4:30 a.m. This includes buses, tubes, the overground, the DLR and TfL trains. However, some stations will be closed at specific times. New Year, new price. Dimitrios Sivrikos, a consumer psychologist at University College London, said companies are aware of our emotional investment in New Year celebrations and price accordingly. He said, New Year is something that we can all share and symbolizes new beginnings. Companies know we invest emotionally and financially in a good time on New Year's Eve and take advantage of it by increasing prices. Dr. Sivrikos said the hospitality and entertainment industry are the main offenders. However, he said other sectors also feel entitled to inflate their own prices towards the end of the year. If you really wanted to save money on New Year's Eve, you could just stay at home. Credit. Thames Television. He said retailers, especially those selling exercise equipment or self-improvement products, will offer discounts towards the end of the year, but this will be on prices that have been increased throughout the year. You'll begin to see marketing messages along the lines of "Start your year afresh," sitting alongside apparently discounted products, he said. Instead of buying items at the end of December, Dr. Sivrikos suggested waiting until the first or second week of January when the price will drop. In this case, the early bird is the silly bird and will pay more, he added. Amelia.Murray at telegraph.co.uk